Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Welcome to The Wedding Wear with Officiating by Amanda. The Wedding Wear, I call them the groom's nerves, with a dirty joke. We all know that weddings are days full of emotions, especially nerves. And there's a lot of reasons for nerves. One, there's a lot of time and money and energy and planning that has gone into the day, and everybody wants it to go off without a hitch. For the couple specifically, there's a lot put into this is the beginning of your life together. This is, you're going to see each other for the first time at the end of the aisle and kind of a buildup of momentum. If there are personal vows being shared, you're going to have to speak. Just a lot with nerves. And I have been very proud, put it on as my Minister Plus titling. I've been more than pleased to calm nerves, to remind flower girls and ring bearers, a few minutes before we go down the aisle, that they're going to do great and what they're supposed to do. Walk through yet again with groomsmen, walking a good speed, not being crazy, getting their hands out of their pockets, little reminders and tips. I've gotten to tie the tie for a father of the bride because his hands were shaking so bad. I have taken words of advice from grandparents as they're, preparing for the day and just listened, provided whatever I could to calm in the situation, giving, type A brides more of a check-in, like, hey, this has been done. I'm doing this next. I'm following up with you, just so that there's maintained control for those that want it. Grooms are often the hardest. Thankfully, a lot of times their groomsmen have keeping them calm in check. And sometimes it doesn't go so well because there's a fair amount of drinks. But there have been other times where I've stepped in a little bit more and worked to calm grooms down. And I really do think of it as an honor to be asked, not even asked, but just in the situation where I could help that way. And I have found jokes are great, especially if they are slightly off humor and a little more thinky, don't spell it out, don't use improper language, make you really think about how the joke is a little dirty. You can thank my father. I grew up with a very diverse group of men that I got to hang around as my dad's friends and coworkers, and I learned the jokes from them. And they live in my head rent free. They are in my back pocket. I have at times better judged the situations to when to pull them out. And on the day of Amanda and Tito's wedding, I really knew that this was what was needed. We were all circled up. The groomsmen are saying, don't worry, man, it'll be fine. I've been married before. And that's not seeming to do anything to ease his nerves. He had a lot riding on it. A lot of family came in. He knew his daughter was getting carried down the aisle. His wife was beautiful. They had a lot of really personal and sentimental touches in for the day. And just everything else wasn't really panning out quite yet to ease his nerves. So with all of the fellow groomsmen around, I decided I was going to tell the following joke that I'll tell you all. I want to preface with, if you're listening with kids, please know that this is a thinking joke, no foul language, so you don't have to change the episode on that. But to quote the the wenches at the Renaissance Fair, if your kid goes to public school, ask them to explain the joke to you because they will probably get it. And if your child laughs at the joke and you don't, you know, take that for what it's worth. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, another thing to preface with before I tell this joke, which has been an often told joke, and ever since I've told it at Amanda and Tita's wedding, I've also let people know, put yourself in my shoes. Midway through telling this joke on this wedding day, I had a 10-year-old walk up for his dad to ask a question. And in the moment, I had to make the decision whether to tell the joke or to stop or to pivot, change up the joke. Please know that I told the joke, and I will also tell you what the 10-year-old said and how we get into this whole gosh darn thing. So, nervous groomsmen, not helping yet to really ease the nerve. And I come up and I said, all right, I've got a joke. So there's a guy, local yokel at the end of a bar. And he's sitting there and he just got done working like 60 hours at the factory. His life is absolutely in shambles. Hates his job, not happy with his life. Wife left him, all of these things. And he's drinking a beer and just wanting that kind of peace and calm at the end of a work week, just to drown out his sorrows. In walks another guy who's carrying a big box, almost tote bin size, if you will, and he puts it on the bar top, and he lifts the lid of it off. And I'm laughing because if you were watching this, but I don't have video, you would see me narrating out with physical actions. This was I'm sure I do every time I tell this joke. So, big tote box with holes in the top is laid on this table, and he hoists out this small piano. I mean, it fits a decent length on the bar top, and he pulls out a bench and he picks up and plucks with his fingers a little guy. I mean, not he's not tall. He's not as long as a baby. He's small, but he's dressed head to toe, top hat, coattails, black tuxedo, the nines. Looks immaculate. And the little guy sits on down at the piano, little bench, and starts playing do 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 do. Everybody in the bar thinks that this is amazing. And so they are all night long buying this guy and the little piano man drinks. Any drink, all the drinks, free drinks around. They're taking song requests. They're having a great time. And with each passing song, the curmudgeon at the end of the bar is just getting madder and madder and madder because this guy's getting all the attention. This guy's getting everything he wanted. He's getting, compliments. He's getting free drinks. He seems to have this great life. He's got obviously a companion with the little maestro. So last call comes, end of the night, and the curmudgeon has finally had enough of this. So he walks up to the other guy and goes, "Man, dude, what the heck is this? What do you think coming in here like this and bringing, your sideshow act and everything?" And the guy goes, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It's how I get by. It's how I do what I do. It all came about because I have a magic lamp." Dude, you have a magic lamp? Oh my gosh, what I wouldn't give for a magic lamp. It would solve all my problems. And the guy chuckles and he goes, "Well, you know what? I carried it in my back pocket. It wasn't a big lamp." And pulls it out, hands it to the curmudgeon. Life just got infinitesimally better. He is so excited. So he takes the magic lamp and he runs to like the back corner of the bar. He doesn't want anyone to steal his wish or to hear him or anything like that. And he rubs the lamp and goes, "I wish, oh, how I wish I had $1,000,000. Bing, boom, clap. About 100 ducks show up in this bar." Okay. He now just went from 0 back down to 100. He is 0. He went from 0 to 100. He is furious once again, comes back to the guy at the bar, yelling and screaming, "What the heck? This is rigged. It's broken. You ripped me off. Ah, da, da, I oughta." And the guy laughs and he says, "Yeah, of course it's broken, dude. Do you really think I wished for a 12-inch pianist? Think it, laugh it. Hopefully you get it. So in the wedding, I didn't say in the wedding. We are going to change that. Talking to the groom and the groomsmen ahead of the wedding, it was a great joke. They laughed. They got it. The 10-year-old. Remember, there's a 10-year-old in all of this. The 10-year-old says, Dad, why did the minister just say pianist? She didn't, son. She said pianist. Well, what the heck is a pianist? A pianist is a piano player. Then why is the joke funny? Well, son, the joke is funny because pianist sounds like penis. But she didn't say that. No, she didn't say that. And again, having to explain the joke to your kid in front of me, in front of the groomsmen and the groom, it added a little something special to the day. And that is one of many, many that I have told to grooms when they are a little nervous. Brides, I haven't found one quite fitting. I'm sure that they would all love kind of similar dirty jokes, but the guys just seem to love it a lot more, and I'll keep it with them. Humor can be a really, really great tool in high stakes moments. Certainly assess who you are talking to and who you're talking with, whether the humor would be appreciated, whether it, if it might be insensitive. I don't know if any of the groomsmen were actually piano players. That would have been really, really funny or kind of interesting. If you're not too sure where they fall with their religious beliefs, family beliefs, maybe some jokes are best kept in your back pocket so that you are not alienating. Certainly, if you are doing more religious wedding, I wouldn't walk in being like, a bishop, a rabbi, and a prophet walk into a bar. Like, maybe not. I like to make sure that there's laughter when fitting within the wedding process. And I often go back to the quote of, if you can laugh at yourself, you're going to be fine. If you can allow others to laugh with you, you're going to be great. So that's the model I like to use, especially with situational humor, especially with, seeing how puns, jokes, metaphors, all of that could land not just with the couple, but with the wider audience, and leaning in. I am not afraid to cut out of the script in the moment. I'm also not afraid to add in within the moment. And so far, I haven't had any couples be like, wow, crickets, that was not good. So hoping I've judged everything really, really well. But do you have a favorite joke of this category, of this nature, slightly off kilter? I call them clean, dirty jokes. I don't say foul language. I don't say anything bad. You really got to think about them a little bit to be like, oh, that's what it is. So let me know. Send me a message, an email, a video, and anything. Let me know what some of your favorites are. Maybe I will learn them too, add them to my arsenal. And make sure that you tune in next time. We're getting really, really close to a bonus episode. So I'm hoping that we will have that hit sooner rather than later. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to The Wedding Wear with Officiating by Amanda. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and found some inspiration or insight for your own special day. This podcast is hosted on Buzzsprout and can be found on all major platforms. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, comment, and share to help us reach even more listeners who might laugh a little at The Wedding Wear. For the links referenced in the show, visit Linktree at Officiating by Amanda. You can also follow the business on Facebook, Wedding Wire, and The Knot to stay up to date on everything going on. If you have a question you'd like me to answer on the podcast, just send an email to theweddingwearpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're ready to inquire about officiating services for your own big day, you can reach me at officiatingbyamanda@gmail.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, this has been Amanda.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.